Not all stock trackers are created equal. The best stock portfolio tracker stands out because it nails the two things that actually matter: pricing and functionality. You'll save money, and you'll gain a tool that actually works for your strategy. Smart investors don't compromise, they choose the strongest option. So let's now find yours. Now, before I even considered putting my money and portfolio data into these portfolio tracking platforms, I did what I always do before signing up to any portfolio tracking software. I dove headfirst into the user's ratings and reviews. Because here's the truth: marketing claims always sound super polished, but it's actual users who reveal the strengths and flaws of a program. And the first thing I look at is the negative reviews, because that's where the truth usually hides. Take Sharesight, for instance. One user complained that with a fair amount of manual checking, this stock tracker does the job, but that it's become downright expensive since he joined. So, yeah, I get that. It's natural to feel frustrated when pricing changes over time and it gets more expensive. But, I'd also argue that's pretty rare kind of feedback, considering that Sharesight is rated more than 4.0 out of 5 stars overall, but it does make an appearance. And in many cases, pricing does reflect how a platform keeps adding essential features, so it's up to you whether you decide those features are worth it for you. But when you read through the rest of the reviews here, the theme, I think, is overwhelming. One investor said that he uses it to accurately track performance, income, and even tax return calculations, calling it excellent value for the money. I also came across another investor who pointed out how seamless the auto imports from brokers are, saying that it was fantastic to finally ditch manual tracking and get detailed reports instantly. To me, that says the stock portfolio platform's value far outweighs the occasional frustration. When I looked into Koyfin next, I came across the review of an investor who gave some very fair feedback, noting that the mobile app isn't as information dense as the desktop web application. He wished that it had more financial data on the go, though he understood the challenge of a small screen. But then he did something that most reviewers don't. He compared Koyfin to the competitors, and his conclusion was pretty telling. He said that after his research, he found that Koyfin's competitors have ridiculous pricing compared to it, and because of that, he rated Koyfin's free offering higher. So this is a huge point. This sentiment is amplified by a lot of professional users. A wealth manager stated that after trying many options, Koyfin has been the best solution for them, praising its portfolio tools and the responsive team that adds features. Another wealth manager called it intuitive and robust, highlighting how its reporting functions help create valuable discussions with clients. That's strong evidence that the platform delivers exactly what professionals need. Then there's Empower. A user flagged that the mobile app wasn't as polished, pointing out small glitches like being unable to remove closed accounts or filter the daily outlook properly. He also mentioned issues with the roadmap feature. These are valid criticisms, especially if you live on your phone. The mobile experience can feel limited. However, the overarching theme from the majority of other reviews is that Empower solves a fundamental, time consuming problem. There's this user who raved that Empower is an amazing app that finally freed him from manually checking everything in spreadsheets. He successfully linked all of his bank accounts and credit cards too. So, while it might have some of its quirks in the interface here and there, for a free tool that automates the tedious task of aggregating your entire financial life, it appears to deliver on its core promise brilliantly. The issue seems to be more about polish on the edges rather than the failure of the core functionality. So, after wading through the reviews, the picture becomes clearer. Each platform has its critics, but the praise is overwhelmingly focused on their specific strengths. And that leads perfectly into the most important part: what these portfolio tracking tools actually do. Well, I tested them all, and the differences in their core features are massive. Let's start with Sharesight, because this isn't just a portfolio tracker software, it's a complete performance analytics platform. The first thing that stood out to me was the custom groups feature. Most portfolio tracking software just shows you your entire portfolio's return, but Sharesight lets you basically slice and dice your holdings any way that you want. You can create a group for your tech growth stocks, another for your dividend aristocrats, and even one for like a specific strategy that you're testing that has a bunch of different random parts of it. So, like, this basically just means that you can see with precision which part of your portfolio is actually driving your returns and which part is dragging you down. It turns vague feelings into hard data, basically. Then there's the historical cost report. So this is a game changer for anyone with a self-managed super fund or investments held in a trust. At tax time, instead of scrambling through spreadsheets, this report automatically captures the current market value of your investments against their original cost base over any time period you choose. And for investors with property, their integration with TaxTank is truly unique. You can pull your property tax data, deductions, and market values directly into Sharesight. Suddenly, you have a unified dashboard for your shares and your property portfolio. So that unified view is really powerful for managing your total net worth. Koyfin, on the other hand, is not a portfolio accountant like Sharesight. It's a research powerhouse. Its strength is in giving you professional grade data to find your next investment. Take their corporate transcripts feature. This gives you access to a massive database of earnings call transcripts from thousands of public companies going all the way back to 2004. You can analyze what management said years ago and compare it to their performance today. Another killer feature is the relative performance charts, so you can take any two securities like Tesla and the S&P 500 and chart their performance relative to each other on a single graph. It instantly visualizes which one is stronger, a crucial tool for pairs trading or just validating your investment thesis. While Sharesight tells you the outcome of your past decisions, Koyfin gives you the intelligence to make better future ones. But the features of Empower are built around a different goal: personal finance aggregation. The cash flow graph is its centerpiece, giving you really clear month-by-month visualization of your total income versus your total expenses across all linked accounts. But the budgeting widget tool helps you see where your money is going. It's excellent for managing your cash flow and overall net worth. But here's the key difference. While Empower shows you your investment account balances, it doesn't dive deep into performance analytics. You won't get detailed reports on your time-weighted returns, your dividend yield, or tax implications from Empower. It's a brilliant free dashboard for the big picture of your finances, but it's not designed to be a dedicated portfolio tracker for performance analysis. And just like every other portfolio tracker app, none of these three best stock portfolio trackers is perfect. Sharesight's depth means that it's not the cheapest option, and if you're a casual investor, you might find it more than you need. But honestly, for anyone serious about building wealth, the time and tax savings justify the price. Koyfin, as powerful as it is, does feel a little desktop first. The mobile app doesn't give you the same immersive experience, but to me, that's a trade-off worth making because the desktop platform is really professional grade. And Empower, yeah, the platform has some glitches on the mobile app version, and some features work better on desktop, but considering it's free at the core and gives such a comprehensive overview, it's hard to complain. So, what is each of these stock portfolio trackers going to cost you? Sharesight is priced for serious investors, but it's still reasonable given the depth and tax features. Koyfin offers a mix of free and paid tiers, which makes it flexible depending on how much detail you need. And Empower, of course, is famous for being free at its core, which makes it the most accessible option here. Each stock portfolio tracking software has its own approach, but the value is there. For their most current pricing, promos, and discounts, check the link in the description. It's updated regularly so that you always access the latest deal. So, here's my takeaway. Sharesight, Koyfin, and Empower each bring something valuable to the table, but if you want the best combination of accuracy, features, and long-term value, I think Sharesight is the best portfolio tracker for me. But check the links in the description of this video to get started with our special discount and coupon and check for yourself.